we will try to see that. And 23rd, you are discussing about action. We have finished about knowledge, then action under the modes. That action, niyatam sangarahitam araga dveshatah kritam afala prepsuna karma yattat satvikam uchyate. That action which is regulated and which is performed without attachment, without love or hatred, and without desire for fruitive results, is said to be in the mode of goodness. Remember, earlier we have discussed knowledge according to the three modes. Everything in this world can be classified according to the modes. Nothing in this world is free from the modes. Everything is contaminated by the modes. Karanam gunasangasya sadasad yoni janmashu. Because of the association with the modes, the living entity, the soul, comes out of different yonis, different wombs, born in a particular body, with a particular type of a karma, and under the influence of the modes, made to perform and do things. So these are all conditioned behaviors that we are talking about. When a person is conditioned too much by the mode of goodness, when he's too much in the mode of passion, when he's too much in the mode of tamas, how he will behave, what he will do, that is being discussed here by Krishna. So here, we already finished with knowledge. Now he's telling that action which is very regulated, means disciplined, and it is performed as a matter of duty without attachment, without any love or affection or hatred or anything, because it has to be done, and without desire for any result that's come out of it, that is in the mode of goodness. An amazing analysis of action in goodness. You must remember that goodness is the best of the modes, and we are all trying to elevate ourselves at least beyond the passion and ignorance and become situated in goodness. Because when you're in goodness, at least you can understand spirituality, absolute truth, and all that. Most of the people in this world are afflicted by tamas and rajas, ignorance and passion. And therefore, it is very difficult for them to rise above matter and material influence. Goodness is also material influence, but at least it's best of the Lord. It's like on the springboard. From there, you can dive into spiritual life easily. Okay? That should be understood. Then, yattu kamepsuna karma sa ahankarena va punah kriyate bahulayasam tadrajasam udahritam. I think I already did these things, bahulayasam. But action performed with great effort by one seeking to gratify his desires and enacted from a sense of false ego is called action in the mode of passion. I think we did this. Anubandham kshayam himsam anapekshicha paurusham. That action performed in illusion, in disregard of scriptural injunctions, and without concern for future bondage or for violence or distress caused to others is said to be in the mode of ignorance. Yeah, I think we did some of these things. So there is action, there is duty under the modes. Mukta sango anaham vadi drishti utsaha samanvitaha siddhi asiddhayor nirvikaraha karta satvika uchyate. One who performs his duty without association with the modes of material nature, without false ego, with great determination and enthusiasm, and without wavering in success or failure, is said to be a worker in the mode of goodness. See, this is the type of a worker we want in our factory, in our business, in our commercial enterprise, who performs his duty and who is without false ego. You may pay him a salary or you don't. He will still work with great determination and enthusiasm without wavering in success or failure. But normally such a person in the mode of goodness will not be working in a factory under you. He will actually be a different occupation, mostly. Right? Yes, duty according to the modes. So here it is interesting. I will ask somebody to read the purport there. It is interesting and important for us to read that purport. Please go ahead, Satyendra Desai, with the purport.
Yes, Maharaj. 26, is it, Maharaj?
Yes, 26.
Yeah. A person in Krishna consciousness is always transcendental to the material modes of nature. He has no expectations for the result of the work entrusted to him because he is above false ego and pride. Still, he is always enthusiastic till the completion of such work. He does not worry about the distress undertaken. He is always enthusiastic. He does not care for the success or failure. He is equal in both distress and happiness. Such a worker is situated in the mode of goodness.
Thank you. So, don't you start worrying or thinking about how can somebody be working like this without any result that's coming to him, and he's not attached to it, and he's like just doing it for the sake of da 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 da. Very rarely you find such people in this world. Most people get enthusiastic when there is a result. They have an impetus for performing that work. Otherwise, why would I do it? I mean, it's stupid for somebody to do something without getting any result. Go mind your own business. Why spend your time on this? But you should know this type of thinking has come in only with the type of economy that we have. But earlier, people were doing many things for others simply because it gives them satisfaction of doing something for somebody else apart from me and my own family and my own relatives and my own interests. It's the nature of a person to do something. You're trained in that. Like Prabhupada often told us that a grihastha, his duty is to, before he eats, to go outside into the open the door of his house and say, is there anybody hungry? Is there anybody in any need? Even if it is a dog or a cat or anything, right? He should say that several times. And he should wait for anybody who says, I think I need some water, I need some food, I need some attention. If somebody says it, he must do it. After making sure that nobody is in need, only then he should go inside and have his food. This is the duty of a grihastha in Vedic times. It's not that they were beggars or anything. It is just that, give me an opportunity to do some seva, a service. And then sannyasis and brahmacharis, they don't go around working and earning money and all that. They never bother about their sustenance. They do bhiksha. It is their duty to go and beg. It is not that he's a beggar. Begging has got a bad connotation now. Begging means you're poor, you're handicapped, you're an idiot, you're not smart enough, you're not educated, and all that. It's not like that. The best of people, the highly intellectual people, the most powerful people will come to beg. Why? To give you an opportunity to serve a person like that, because you get spiritual credits, you get religious credit, you get dharmic credit for being able to do something for this person. For a grihastha, he will come and stand outside and the sannyasi will say, Bhavati Bhiksham Dehi. He will say only once. And you have to hear about it, and before he leaves, they'll rush to give him something. Open the door and please wait, I'm coming. And they'll rush and they're going to immediately give him so much rice, so much vegetables, so much this, that, everything from a household. It's growing in the backyard. It's growing in the farm. He can get this from anywhere. But he has come to your house to give you an opportunity to give it to him. Because all these commodities were everywhere. There was plenty everywhere. It's not that he cannot get it. He is so highly respected, the Brahmana people will come and dump it in his house if he wants. But he'll not take it. He will just take from 3 houses. He will beg. That's all time I have. I go back and I conduct my classes for all the students. I study myself. I worship the Lord. I have to do my duties every day, my spiritual duties. I'm busy with that. And I don't like going around earning money and all that. I teach people knowledge. It's up to them to maintain me. If they don't want to maintain me, if for some reason I don't get anything to eat, I'll just fast. I have no problem. I'll drink some water. I'll eat some fruit from here and there. I pluck it from my house. I eat it and go to sleep. I have no problem at all. But if a person, a Brahmana, does that and goes to sleep, it is a shame for all the Grahasthas that such a person who is living amongst you had to go hungry. It is your karma for having him do that. So a Brahmana never considers in his mind that I have to eat. It's not my botheration to be worried. Just like a child never bothers. I have to eat. I have to cook nothing. Mama will give me something. Better give me something. It's her duty to look after me. I don't care about it. I don't even think about it. In fact, I'll be playing and my mama will call me, hey, come to eat, come to eat. I've made this, I've made that for you. Then I go and eat. I have never bothered about eating in my life. Why? Because I'm looked after. That's the way the Brahmana feels. I never worried about food and all that. Why? The Lord provides for me. And if he does not at some time, it means that is his plan. And I should just go fasting. I don't mind. Like that. So begging is not bad. Begging is a very exalted situation. Only very exalted people will come and beg. Will come and beg. And they will reduce their old false ego and they'll be very humble. They are trying on themselves something which normally a Kshatriya will never undertake. Kshatriya will never go to beg. He will say, give me taxes. Give me the grains. Give me the produce, man. I am looking after you, protecting you. He'll order it to be given. If you don't, he'll chop off your head. That's a Kshatriya. Of course, he won't chop off your head so easily. But I'm just saying that out of gratitude for him giving you security and protection, he will collect taxes and you have to pay out of gratitude. It's all done in a nice mood. It is not done in a your profit, my profit, and money for you and not for me and all that. They don't value all these things. They rather value their action. A very rich, cultured society we are talking about. But that type of stuff is not at all available now because everybody was in high, the Brahmins especially were dependent on the Lord. And a lot of them don't earn money something. And according to modern day standards, they will always be called poverty stricken. They don't keep anything with them. Even if he collects something more, somebody comes and gives it, by the evening, he will distribute it to others. And the next day, again, morning, he will beg. Because he will not hoard it. The hoarding is bad. Hoarding spoils my dependence on the Lord. Right? So by I'll give it off to somebody who needs it. Wiped out clean, there's no source of nothing. The Brahmani, his wife also goes to sleep, the children go to sleep. Next morning, father will beg again and bring. Can you imagine living like that? No, according to the way, just imagine, completely dependent on day to day according to the Lord's plan. This is Sattvika Guna. This is Sattvika Guna. It's not bad for a person to go and beg. Only a person in Sattvika Guna will go and beg. And everybody knows that this person is like this. It is my opportunity to give him something. Society looks after sannyasis. Society looks after the brahmachari. Society means the grahasthas. It is their duty because they earn money. They have a license for sense gratification. They enjoy their senses limitedly. They are also having a desire to go back to Godhead. And they see this as an opportunity to get spiritual credit. And they'll immediately do it. It's a great honor for them to do it. Because rarely will somebody come to them and say, I have this need. Mostly people don't have any needs because the king rules so well. All their needs are met with. Right? So that is what is the meaning here of saying that regulated activity just what is needed, not very attached, completely dependent on the Lord, such a person is in the mode of goodness. What about a person who is in Rajas? What type of a worker is he? You can see in 27. Ragi karma vala prepsu lubdo himsatmako asuchihi harsha shokhanvitah karta rajasah parikirtitah. The worker who is attached to work and the fruits of work, desiring to enjoy those fruits, and who is greedy, always envious, impure, and moved by joy and sorrow, is said to be in the mode of passion. Wow, doesn't it sound like us? Doesn't it sound like us? It does. That's the meaning of passion. It's very difficult for us to accuse ourselves of passion because that's the way we are educated to be. That's the way we are taught to be. Passion, is great. It drives our economy. Greed drives our economy. Come on, get up, do something. Earn the money, spend the money, live life king size. Do that, do this. Yeah, what a guy you are. You're not interested in anything. If you're a sattvic guy and all, according to Pandita, you're a useless idiot. A fellow sits somewhere and do some japa inside his hand and then he reads some scriptures and sits under a tree. My gosh, don't go anywhere near him. A Rajasic fellow will completely avoid a Sattvic man. And a Tamasic fellow will be even worse. They all think that the guys like us are, useless bums and a weight on society. Because this is different culture. It's all driven by passion and ignorance. In that, if we say, Bhavati Bhiksham Dehi, they'll say, go get a job, man. They'll tell you. In America especially, initially when the devotees would go out and do Harinam Sankirtan, the people will stop on the road in their car and say, why don't you get a job? Why don't you go get a job? It means that you're jobless. And you're going around and chanting, then people are paying you some money. When Prabhupada first introduced Harinama Sankirtan on the roads and the streets in America, people became very happy and they all started joining, especially all these guys in the park having nothing much to do. And then Prabhupada started the Rath Yatra parade and everybody was doing Kirtan. Many of the guys were, wow, nice music like that. And they gave some prasadam to eat. They'd say, yummy, wow, good. Where you guys are from? You come here and get a free meal. Prasadam, oh, I'll come there. It's like that. And that's how it started. That's how it started. But over a period of time, when Prabhupada introduced Harinama Sankirtan in India, and in India, that is British ruled India, and the after of British ruled India, somewhere in the late 60s, people started throwing coins at the devotees, American and Western devotees, chanting on the streets, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, for everybody to hear it. And they were dancing and they were looking very happy. So all these people came and they were holding the coins and they were dropping the coins at their feet. And these devotees who were from America thought, wow, very great, India, what a reception. They were throwing money at us. Wow, they thought it's a great thing. And they wrote to Prabhupada, they threw coins at us. We picked it up and we put on our head and put it inside and we collected so much money. Prabhupada said, stop it immediately, the Kirtan. They think you're beggars and they're throwing coins at you. Hey, we didn't know that because we didn't know that culture. We come from a different culture. He said, stop the Kirtan immediately. Don't go out on the streets. And then these devotees would think, oh my gosh, this is India. We thought this is India, the home of these type of spirituality. And they're throwing coins at us. Because Prabhupada said, that's not the reception they should give you. Then Prabhupada came to India. Then he did these huge programs in these pandals with 30,000, 40,000 people attending it in Bombay, in Surat, and in all these places. Then when the people were appreciating, and he called the devotees on the stage and had them do Kirtan. Then he had them speak Bhagavad Gita. Westerners with white skin, ladies and men speaking Bhagavad Gita, your culture from your land, which you don't know. And everybody started becoming very emotional. Wow. So wonderful. Then when they were going on the street, Prabhupada said, now go do Kirtan. And when they did Kirtan, they came and garlanded them. Said, please step into my house. Please step into my house, all of you. Do Kirtan in my house. I have deities here. I have Shalagram here. So they went to every house and danced and chanted and spoke Bhagavad Gita. They gave them prasadam and gave full prasad plates and all, and treated them very nicely. And Prabhupada said, this is the culture. He said, this is the culture. And then later, they bought books and they were happy to give donations to Prabhupada for your temple in Juhu in Bombay. I want to give you this money. They would call Prabhupada and give. I'm so impressed by what you have done to all these foreigners. And I was feeling I want to do whatever I can for this movement like that. It was value-based. But initially, when they were alone and Prabhupada was not with them, they came to India and they threw coins at them, thinking these are beggars. They don't know. They want some money, so they're coming and singing. In India, they'll come and sing a nice song with something and they'll ask with a hand some money and you'll give them money. In the bus stand, in the train, you'll see them coming with a harmonium and singing. They'll ask from everybody money. They thought these fellows are like that. So Prabhupada said, stop it. Don't do it. That's not the way to present this. Right? So I'm just saying this for bringing to light the fact that people will normally think that you are guys who don't have anything to do. No, it's not that we don't have anything to do. We are very busy from morning to night. We work more than all of you work. I get up in the morning at 3:30. I come for Mangalarati. I do so many other services. I speak to people Bhagavad Gita. I print Bhagavad Gita books. I manage the whole finances to do with that, and I build projects. It's not that we don't do things. We do lots of things, and we do it very happily because we're doing it for Krishna. Similarly, in the material world, there are people who are very happily doing things because they are doing it for money. They're getting profits. They're getting name. They're getting fame. They're feeling important. And they're doing it, they're very attached to it. That is what is described here. The worker who is attached to work and the fruits of that work, because I'm getting name, fame, money, desiring to enjoy those fruits. Oh, I can use this. I can make for my daughter a fantastic wedding. I'll spend 5 crores on it. I'll give her this beautiful jewelry. I'll give her a wonderful car like this. And who is want to enjoy those fruits for himself, who's greedy, wants to get more wealth. And gradually, he's envious about other people who are making wealth similarly like this. They fight with them, compete with them, and then they become impure with lust, greed, anger, everything. And they're moved by successes in their business and crashes in their business. All this is because of the mode of passion, Rajoguna. But this is what we all go through in the material world. And this is what everybody fights through according to the horoscope he has. He may be successful, he may be going down, maybe this will happen, that will happen, and you'll go through these ups and downs in your life. Rajogun. But compare this to that person who is actually doing the work in Sattvika Guna. All these ups and downs don't bother. He doesn't bother about it. He is detached from the results of his work. That's okay. I did my bit. And what the results are, it's okay. It's up to Krishna. I'm not attached to. That is very different from a person who is in passion. He is very much wanting the fruit of his work to manifest. Otherwise, why will I do this? If I'm not getting any fruit, I'll not do it. That's the meaning of passion. Passion means fruitive work. But there is also non-fruitive work done by a person who is sattvic. He will teach, he will share his knowledge, and he will say that you can give me whatever you want. So you will see in India, there were hundreds and thousands and lakhs of schools, it seems, before. There is a statistics that I can show you. I don't remember immediately. Lately done under one British general from that city in Bellary in Karnataka. There is a statistics available that there were some 225,000 patashalas and so many gurukulas. So it goes in lakhs of numbers in that small district. in a small district even before the British times and during the British times. This is during the British times. And all these Brahmanas were giving education. They don't take any money. And each one is good in one aspect. One is teaching, how to be a Kshatriya. One is teaching how to understand the scripture. One is teaching about Brahman. One is teaching about even things about, how to make defense weapons. All sorts of education was going on. These people will learn this from this Gurukula, go to that master and learn this. Anybody can go anywhere and learn anything he wants. If he doesn't have any money, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. Everybody is welcome to get educated. And you give whatever dakshina you want for your guru. Because it is rule that if you want the education to be taking effect, then you must give a dakshina to the guru. And the dakshina does not mean money. Dakshina means give you 2 sacks of rice. I give you 15 mangoes from my house. I can give you a kurta and a dhoti woven by my father or something. I can give you anything I want according to what my family can afford. I come and very heartfully come and give it to the guru. And the guru will ask his wife to use it. And his wife will cook up a big feast and give all the boys and girls or whoever attended the session. She'll use it immediately. Everything is in plenty. Everything is about giving, 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 giving. Nobody is interested in taking. The pleasure of giving. It is Vedic custom. But here you will see that today our economy and everything is based on tamas and rajas. Very important for us to know this. This is not the way an ideal society should be. An ideal society is where people feel very secure and safe. And they are happily giving because they know they'll never suffer in want. Because there is plenty. Why? Isavashamidam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat. The Lord is providing and there is plenty for everybody. Let us use these things to exhibit our relationship of love with people. And let's give what other people do. I have good karma. I have a lot of things with me. I want to share it with people who don't have good karma and who are suffering due to various reasons. They go look for such people and give it to them and make their life a little better for them. And then when they go back, they feel very happy. I did charity today. I actually did something good and I feel fulfilled for my day. Every day they look out where I can do such type of giving. Everybody is looking like that. Even the Shudra is saying sometimes, I do work. No, I don't want any wages from you today. I just out of love, I have done this work for you. Even the Shudra will offer to his master sometime, today is your birthday and I like to do this for you because I don't have money. I have only my physical capability and this is my offering to you. Like that. Everybody is in the giving mode. It's a beautiful situation. Just think about it. So similarly, the person who is mentioned here, the worker who is always ayuktaha prakritaha stabdaha shato naishkritihito alasaha vishadi dirga sutri cha karta tamasa uchyate. The worker who is always engaged in work against the injunctions of the scripture, who is materialistic, obstinate, cheating, and expert in insulting others, and who is lazy, always morose and procrastinating, is said to be a worker in the mode of ignorance. And a lot of the workers we have nowadays, these are the guys who pose problems to employers. They play all sorts of tricks. They will try to find loopholes. They are expert in insulting others, materialistic, obstinate. These are the people who get kicked out of companies and say, get out from here, I don't want you. Procrastinating. Nobody wants a guy like this, lazy guy. That's because he's afflicted by tamoguna. This way, 3 types of workers. And we heard about action and worker. And then Krishna is going further to explain understanding and determination according to the three modes of material nature. In verse 30, pravritim cha nivritim cha karya akarye bhaya bhave bandham moksham cha yaveti buddhi sa partha satviki. Okay, please read the translation. Jaya Nair, please read the translation.
O son of Pratha, that understanding by which one knows what ought to be done and what ought not to be done, to be feared and what is not to be feared, what is binding and what is liberating, is in the mode of goodness.
Yeah. This is the meaning of a person who, in the mode of goodness, has got an understanding. I said this is the understanding according to the modes. See, people understand different things according to the modes they are afflicted with. You know, there is a saying by the famous poet called Thomas Blake or Richard Blake or whatever it is, some Blake is. I read the Bible with you day and night, but I read black and you read white. It's a funny saying. I read the Bible with you day and night, but you read black and I read white. Both of us read it together, but I understand it black and you understand it white. How is it? People understand things differently according to the modes afflicting them. Even Bhagavad Gita is understood by people in a different way, and there are so many commentaries by all sorts of people. And nobody really understands Bhagavad Gita. We can understand that. When you read the real pure devotees' actual explanation of Bhagavad Gita as it is, then you know where others are wrong, obviously wrong. Like our President of India, Radhakrishnan ji, the first President of India, he wrote a commentary to Bhagavad Gita. He's a politician, man, and everything like that. And there he mentions, when Krishna is saying, Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanamaja, surrender to me, he does not mean me to the person called Krishna. He means to the unborn, to the un-da-da-da-da, within Krishna. Like that's some funny explanation. Very convoluted, speculative explanation. Why are you explaining like that? Why can't you just take the direct meaning that Krishna says, surrender to me, surrender to Krishna, that's all. Why are you making all these unnecessary speculative things in between and misinterpreting what Krishna has said? Krishna is a supreme person. He is God. He claims himself that in Bhagavad Gita. He's saying that avyaktam vyaktimapannam manyante mam abuddhaya. People think that I am unmanifest and have manifested myself only in the human realm. All this is a abuddhi, unintelligent people. I am present in front of you as a person and I am telling you, surrender to me, I look after you. So why do you interpret it as the unborn person with unborn consciousness within Krishna? That's not all what Krishna said. Why are you adding words into Krishna's mouth? What he said itself is difficult to understand for most people. Why are you making it even more complicated? Why don't you just take it one face to face, one on one? When he says, surrender to me, Mam, Ekam, Sharanam, Vraja. Very clear. Ekam, only to me you must surrender, not to anybody else. Mam, Ekam, Sharanam, Vraja. He's saying that. He means what he says. Why are you giving an interpretation to it? That's the problem. So according to the modes afflicting a person, he will understand it. Now, when you accept a real guru, he will not allow you to understand according to the modes afflicting you. Rather, he'll get you to understand what is the real stuff spoken there. Because you will come to the Sattvika Guna level by the practice of the sadhana that he tells you. And by that sadhana, you'll situate yourself in Sattvika Guna. Even though according to your horoscope, you may be in this or that. This sadhana has got a power to actually put you in Sattvika Guna. In that Sattvika Guna, you will instantly understand, wow, this is what is the meaning. This is correct. And inside you, you will get that strong feeling This is the correct understanding. You know, because Krishna will speak to you from within the heart as Paramatma. Then you know, in your sattvic state, you're understanding correctly. That's why we tell devotees, if you want to read the Bhagavad Gita and understand it properly, please chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Please be serious about it. Put yourself in sattvika guna. Don't eat all sorts of nonsense. Eat food that is cooked with love and devotion offered to Krishna. Eat prasadam. Wake up early in the morning and capture the sattvic time in the early morning. Chant Krishna's names. Worship Krishna. Remain in the sattvika guna and open your Bhagavad Gita and read. You'll see it will click with you. That understanding with Krishna is given. At least you have to be in Sattvika Guna to understand Bhagavad Gita. But some professor in some university in America who has to drink 4 pegs every day, morning 2 and night 2, and who has to smoke about some, 3-4 packets of cigarettes every day. And if he writes a commentary on the Bhagavad Gita academically and he gets a PhD on it, becomes world famous for a commentary on the Bhagavad Gita, you will get nothing from that Bhagavad Gita. He may become famous. Because in a passionate world, people make a passionate commentary famous. I like this version because it affords me the things that I am doing. It validates me, the passionate things that I'm already doing. So many people go for such commentaries. But that is not what Krishna conveyed to Arjuna. That's not what Arjuna understood. And that won't solve the problems of your life at all. It is just an academic commentary. Written by a passionate guy somewhere in America. He may be professor, who cares? He is not qualified to write this. We have to be in Sattvika Guna and it will be surrendered to a guru. Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattva darshana. Krishna said that in the 9th chapter. Even in the 4th chapter it is informed. If you want to understand this truth, tad vidhi, there is a process for this. There is a vidhi. Tadvidhi pranipatena. You should be very humble and surrendered to that teacher who is going to teach you this. He's not taking any fees from you, nothing. He doesn't care for all that. If you're not having a humble attitude, if you're not having a service attitude, pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. That service attitude, seva attitude if you don't have, and with humility if you don't question him, it will not work on you, the knowledge. You will not get it. These are the pre-qualifications for a student. What is it? Pranipatena. You have to be very humble. I am going to accumulate and get knowledge that is far, far, far superior. So I cannot accommodate that knowledge with pride. I don't know. I must surrender. Pranipatena. Then pariprashnena. You must ask questions where you don't know. He is willing to answer that. Sevaya. You must be willing to serve the Guru with mind, body, words, and your wealth. And he's not asking for your wealth. He's not asking for your service. But it's your duty to serve him because you will get better understanding. He is not asking for your service. It's not that without you, he cannot run his so-called this thing. He does not depend on you. It's up to you to take advantage by service. It's up to you to serve the Guru. Because by doing that, Krishna will reveal knowledge in the heart. Only when you're in the service mode can you understand. Where is some professor in America drinking and smoking going to have any service mode? Where does he understand this culture at all? So, Prabhupada's commentary has become world famous and appreciated by scholars and everybody. Because when they read it, they feel this is the truth. They can feel that. Everybody feels that pulse of Krishna telling him from within the heart, this is it, hold it. This is what I wanted to tell Arjuna and I've told him. This is the captured here nicely by this person, Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Hold it together. That feeling everybody gets. How come his books are being read by all people in Europe and America? It's written now in Greek, Latin. It's written in, Moldavian, Estonian, Russian, name it, some Papua New Guinea, some language. somewhere, and all it's being translated in. I've lost count. It's some 87 languages I heard before. Now it has gone beyond. How all these people are getting a chance to read Bhagavad Gita and say, my gosh, I never knew this. Why did not people tell me this before? It's such a clear explanation of who God is, who I am, what this world is. And it's not even an Indian. Somewhere, somebody in Papua New Guinea, some African place, and all sorts of people are getting to know it. How? Because it's written by a pure devotee. Written by a pure devotee. That is how you can understand the Bhagavad Gita. You can't understand the Bhagavad Gita willy-nilly, anybody speaks on it. Don't think that Krishna will reveal it to you. Krishna will lock it up from within your heart. You'll never get the understanding. So it says here, pravritimcha nivritimcha, that understanding by which one knows what ought to be done and what ought not to be done. To get that understanding, what is to be feared and what is not to be feared, what is binding, what is liberating. To get that understanding, you will be able to get it only if you're in the mode of goodness. Now, we are speaking about understanding under the modes. You must be very careful. So that's why it's easy for you to understand a Rajasic statement made by somebody Rajasic, because you are in the mode of Rajas. So people are very quick at understanding some terroristic activity, which is Tamogun. People are very quick at grabbing something passionate. Very rarely do people pick up something Sattvic that is spoken. Because they are always ruled by Rajas and Tamas. It's very difficult for them to pick up something Sattvic that is spoken by somebody. So that's why sometimes Bhagavad Gita becomes unapproachable or inaccessible to people because of their Rajogun status. So they have to get purified under the direction of a Sadguru, a proper Guru, a bona fide Guru, coming in the line. And by association with that Guru, they change into mode of goodness. When they change the mode of goodness, then you see they can absorb it. You can actually feel it. You can actually see that sometimes when I read Bhagavad Gita, I don't understand it at all. And sometimes I feel, wow, I never knew this. And it clicks in you, the understanding. It's because you're in Sattvika Guna, you've caught it. When you're in Rajasika Guna, you go, what's the meaning of this? I mean, you read it once, twice, thrice, you can't get it. This has happened to you. I'm sure all of you will know that. I'm sure all of you will know that. You very clearly can understand that. Because there are times when it clicks, and there are times it does not click, the understanding. Even your material subject matter, if you're studying for engineering, medicine, law, or anything, some concepts just don't get inside you. And somewhere along the line, someday, you're walking down a tree and wow, that's what it means. Now I got it. It's somewhere else that you get it. It's managed. It's orchestrated. Right? These are all modes acting on you. According to the modes acting on you, your understanding will come to you. It doesn't come exactly when you want it. It's not so easy. So, yeah, in 31, Krishna is saying, Yaya dharmam adharmam cha karyam cha akaryam evacha avyatha ayathavat prajanati buddhi sapartha rajasi. O son of understanding, O son of Pritha, that understanding which cannot distinguish between religion and irreligion, between action that should be done and action that should not be done, is in the mode of passion. This is what the Kerala story is about. The whole movie Kerala story is creating such a stunning effect on many people. I asked different people different things. And then I saw clips of that movie here and there. Because everybody is talking to me and saying, Maharaj, why didn't you make a video on the Kerala story? Why didn't you say something about it? I said, I don't know what it is about. Don't have the time to. Maybe you can tell me. And some people told me and sent me some clips and this and that. One of the chief clips they sent us about some girl speaking to somebody. Why did Lord Shiva do this? Why did Krishna dance with so many unmarried girls? What type of a God you have? And that person is not able to answer. So he accepts the Islam, this thing or something like that. So this was like the most popular thing everybody is telling me. I said, what is the take home from all these things is nobody knows God. That's the take home. The whole Kerala story picture is the Hindus don't know who is God. The Muslims also don't know who is God, but they manage convincing the Hindus according to their understanding. It's a rajasic and tamasic exercise, as it is mentioned here. Some fellow thinks that I understand better than you and your understanding of God is bunkum, and then he attacks the other fellow. If both of you are worshippers of God, why will you attack yourself violently like this? And why will you resist and do all these things? Something is wrong with both of you. Something wrong with both of you. All these religious people fighting with each other, my religion is greater than yours. Definitely something is wrong. Why will you go to the extent of killing another guy and doing all sorts of crazy, stupid, violent things on another person's life? It all shows that something is really. No wonder people are saying religion, I will keep away from it. I don't mind working for people and giving a donation to you for feeding people and all that. Forget it. Religion, I don't want to be involved. You guys are messy. And they are producing so many atheistic people in society who are good-natured, want to know about God, but the heck with it, you guys. I don't understand God anywhere. None of you have been able to teach me. I would rather distribute this and that. But a God is an important matter in life. It's part of your life so deeply. You can't be without understanding God. Without religion, you will have no morals, no ethics in society. Everything will crash over a period of time. You may be a nice guy, but you will see everything will crash. There's no use of being nice guy without God. So you need God and you have to understand it properly. That's what is being mentioned here. All these different lousy understandings because of the modes of material nature operating on you. And you get the wrong understanding. Then you go and do something crazy, passionate, fully tamasic. It doesn't lead to any type of transcendence. You have to be in goodness, then only from there only you can transcend matter. If you don't even get to the point of goodness, if you fight on the rajasic and tamasic plane, each other, that is our, this thing, I'll break your worship place, I'll do this to you, I'll do that to you and all that. It's a big mess. It's a big mess. This is because of understanding wrongly. This is in religion, I'm saying. But you will see that in all other forms of understanding also, same thing happens. Same thing happens. There's no big difference. So the modes rule very powerfully, right? That understanding that cannot distinguish religion and irreligion. Between action that should be done and action that should not be done is in the mode of passion. They all land up doing things which you're not supposed to do in terms of action. And they all don't know what is religion. This is because they have a wrong understanding because of the mode of passion. That's all. The Bhagavad Gita is speaking it right here. Verse 31 of chapter 18. Adharamam dharamamitiya manyate tamasa vrita sarvarthan viparitamscha buddhi sapartatamasi. That understanding which considers a religion to be religion and religion to be religion under the spell of illusion and darkness and strives always in the wrong direction of partha is in the mode of ignorance. Now this is even worse than passion. Killing each other, beating each other is one thing. Passionate. You're misunderstanding one for the other. But these are even worse guys. They think religion to be religion and religion to be religion. So they don't know how to distinguish. They don't know under the spell of illusion and darkness, under tamoguna, and strives always in the wrong direction. Hellish, hell-bent, such in the mode of ignorance. So maybe we should read this purport. Sandhya Natarajan, can you please read this purport of text 32 and we can finish?
But intelligence in the mode of ignorance is always working the opposite the way it should. It accepts religions which are not actually religions and rejects actual religion. Men in ignorance understand a great soul to be a common man and accept a common man as a great soul. They think truth to be untruth and accept untruth as truth. In all activities, they simply take the wrong path. Therefore, their intelligence is in the mode of ignorance. Hare Krishna,
Okay.
Maharaj.
Thank you. Right? This is another class of people. Another class of people. They're highly illusioned and they don't know at all. It's simply they don't know, full stop. Simply they don't know. Okay? So, I want to close here. The way modes play havoc by keeping you conditioned, keeping you controlled, working from the mind onwards down, so imperceptible and so subtle and so powerful and strong is what you can learn from here. These are all subtle influences. This is, you can't wriggle out of this under this thing because it works on the mind. You don't even know you are under the grips of it. You don't even know you are under the grips of passion and ignorance. Only when you read the Bhagavad Gita, you know, oh my gosh, my action is like this. There's a description of me. That's why I've been feeling lousy every time this happens. I've been going to a psychiatrist and a psychotherapist and all that. But what's really working on me is the modes. And I've got this attachment and I'm getting implicated, I'm getting entangled. The Bhagavad Gita tells me to disentangle myself, get detached, so that you can remain out of the grips of the three modes. So because you have a stake in the matter, because of your desire, you'll be forced to get entangled and embroiled in it. But if you get detachment, then modes cannot catch you anywhere because you're not attached. You cannot actually catch. It's a very subtle process of relieving yourself. Detachment and satisfaction and delving deep into spirituality with the proper understanding, that keeps you safe. That's what a Brahmana does. A Sattvic person very smartly navigates himself away from the modes because of detachment, because of non-involvement, because of not desiring a fruit from the activity, because of just giving everything free, because he just keeps himself, in such a position where modes cannot catch him. That is goodness. That is goodness. And from there, it is easy for him to kick himself upstairs into transcendence. It's a knack. It's a skill that you learn, a spiritual skill that you learn gradually with good intelligence and knowledge from the Bhagavad Gita. And that sadhana that you perform. It's a subtle thing. That's what is being taught by Krishna to Arjuna. The subtle science of the modes controlling you and how you can quit that control by depending on Krishna. So please read further. You will read about determination and all that. Very nice. So, even people with determination are of three types. Sattvic, Rajasic, and Tamasic determination. And you'll be amazed at the permutations and combinations of these modes and how this world runs. And how there is a way that Krishna is showing you that you can bypass this whole influence and stand out. Irrespective of what your horoscope states or irrespective of what your karma is, Krishna is offering a pathway where through Bhakti Yoga, you can get a clean exit out of it very smartly, out of understanding the three modes and their operation. Think about it. Om Tat Sat. Any question or comment?